Alrighty, let's look into our second to-do, which is sort movies by ID, rank, and title through a dynamic function. Remember, when I say dynamic function, I mean it's a flexible function that is able to do many different things. And we like those kind of functions sometimes because they're easy to work with. And the function that we're going to be working with is called sort movies by attribute. Now remember, don't get confused by attribute. When I say attribute, attribute is simply just a name for a certain title. So for example, title is an attribute, rank is an attribute, ID is an attribute. So just keep that naming in mind. I'm introducing these names, these a little bit more complex names maybe, but that's because they're used all over in the development world. Let's look into how we go ahead and build this, and I will give you a to-do where you should do it by yourself as well. Now, this sort movies by attribute is going to take a few things. Remember, when we went ahead and we did sort movies by rank, what did we do? We replaced the movies, right? We replaced numbers with movies, and we simply, honestly, all we did is we just changed this right here, this function, this comparison function, because now we're comparing different things. So what I want you to do now is to use this object, or to literally use this sort movies by rank, and to make it more adaptable. We are still passing in movies just like we did here, right? But now we're also passing in a sort attribute. And a sort attribute, the way we're going to work with it is like this. So if I go ahead and copy sort movies by attribute and I go up to where we tested, instead of sort movies by rank, we're going to sort movies by attribute, right? And we're gonna still pass in movies, but we're gonna pass in one more thing. You see, sort attribute. And this attribute is going to be depending on what we want to sort by. So if we want to sort it by title, we pass in title. If we want to sort it by rank, we pass in rank. And if we want to sort it by ID, we pass it ID. So let's go ahead and do it for rank for now. Okay. So sort movies by attribute by rank, and it's gonna sort it by this rank. And if we go down now to sort movies by attribute, all you have to do now, remember, we were comparing rank, but now we're comparing different things. Now we really are comparing sort attribute. So go ahead and try this out by yourself. Copy this. You basically can just copy this functionality within here, paste it into here, and then make the necessary changes to see if you can make it work, whereby you can use a sort attribute now to check and sort. So try it out and then come back, and then we're going to do it together. Okay, let's take a look at how we do this together. So we're just going to go ahead and copy this because there's just no reason to duplicate it or to rewrite it. I don't want to write, neither do you, the same code that we just did. Let's look at how can we use this sort attribute. We're saving this function, and really the only place that makes sense to use is right here. So you see, that's the place where we are actually comparing and checking, hey, is this movie object, is it greater or, for a certain, in this case, is it greater than for a certain rank? So with rank, in order for us to be able to now use sort attribute instead of rank, right, because that's where we're passing in, we can't just do it like this. We cannot just do it like this. That's a no-go. That's no. The reason why is because what's going to happen is going to say movies I, so let's say movies at 0. It's going to look at sort attribute, and sort attribute, is it anywhere here? No, it's not, because it's going to look for that title, or it's going to look for that name. However, if we use brackets like this, then what's going on is it's using sort attribute as a variable, as a string to look for in its object. So for example, let's say sort attribute is title. It's going to say, okay, give me movies at a certain index with the attribute title, and in this case, it's going to be the title, right? Same thing goes for max object. Instead of that range, we're going to do max object at sort attribute. So that's good. Max object equals max movie. So everything still stays the same because we're still simply just replacing the movies with replacing the movies object. Now let's try this out together. Save it, refresh it, and you can see it's still sorted by rank, which is perfect. That's what we want to do. But now let's test out, will it be sorted by title? So if I do title, ooh, interesting. Now it's sorted by title. Let's sort it by ID. Look at that. Now it's sorted by ID. What if we just put a random name on it, like Versgur? If we just put a random, what's gonna happen? Nothing, because remember that it didn't find that specific attribute. Same thing goes for here. If you do sort attribute, just like so, if you do that sort attribute, oops, nope, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Again, nothing changes. But in either way, you can see that sort attribute is simply not there. So now you might be asking, let's back this up. I wanna bring this up. This very important point. It's a very important point, guys. Now we're comparing these titles. Let's go back to title. Okay, let's go back to here. It's comparing titles. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Nazari, how does it compare titles? How does it compare strings, in this case, names of these movies? Well, let's look at that in the next video.